This video is about matrices, or in the singular form, it would be a matrix. A matrix is a set of numbers arranged into a rectangle. An example that you'll be likely familiar with is a bus timetable. We have a rectangular form and we have various numbers, and they are arranged in rows and columns. We can see where the row and column intersect. Here we have the green. The rows run horizontally, the columns are vertically. In mathematics, we create our matrices without headings and without lines to separate the numbers, and that is an example of a matrix. We normally label our matrices with capital letters. So this is matrix A. Matrices can be sorted by their shape. So we can look at matrices and see whether they have the same shape or not. This is important for addition and subtraction, and it also has a role to play in matrix multiplication. The way that we work out what shape this matrix is we have something called dimension or order. And it would normally be, if we were after the dimension of this matrix, matrix A, we'd write it like that. Now, what is the dimension? The dimension is the number of rows times the number of columns. Which in this case has 2 rows, 1, 2, and it has 2 columns, 1, 2. We wouldn't do this multiplication, we just leave it as that. That is how we write the dimension or order of a matrix. In this case, 2 by 2. We can also use the notion of rows before columns to determine a particular element of the matrix. Now, an element of the matrix is any number in it. So here it is 4, 1, 0, and -2. So in this case, we can say that our number 4 is in the first row and the first column. So we can label this in this way: A11. We've used lowercase a because our matrix as a whole is uppercase A, and we have the rows before columns. In matrices, rows always come before columns. This is not to be confused with A subscript 11. This is A11, first row, first column. And this tells A11, when we locate that, it equals 4. And so this enables us to look at larger matrices So for example, so this matrix, and let's call it matrix B, it has 1, 2, 2, 3 rows, so therefore if we were writing its dimension or order, we have 3 by, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. So its dimension would be 3 by 4. Notice that of the numbers in the matrix, it has multiples. So in other words, it has 1 appears a number of times, so does 2, so does 3, so does 4, so does 0. This is when it becomes very important to know which element we're actually talking about. We couldn't say the element 1 because there are 3 of them and they are different. So here we'd have to look at, just say we were interested in this particular 2 here, we would label this as B, and it's in the 1, 2, 3, third row, so B3, and it's in the second column. So that particular 2 is distinct from this particular 2, and that the second 2 that I just circled, the circle in red, that is a different 2, and it's in our second row, first column. They're not the same thing, even though they equal the same number. They're 2 different elements of the matrix. So that's a brief introduction to matrices. In the next video we'll look at some of the operations that we can do with matrices, addition and subtraction.